Hello and good morning, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Excellent. I'm pleased that you all could join me today with Government of Canada's Minister Jim Carr, Special Representative for the Prairies, and Deb Schultz, Minister of Seniors, as well as Alberta's Minister of Seniors and Housing, my colleague Josephine, and His Worship Mayor Nenshi of Calgary. We have some great news to share about newly approved capital maintenance and renewal projects in Alberta, which will ensure much-needed upgrades to housing for seniors and families throughout Alberta. So, Minister Carr, can you please share the good news?
With great pleasure, and good morning, everyone. I want to begin by acknowledging that I'm joining you from the traditional Treaty 1 territory of the Anishinaabe peoples and the homeland of the Métis Nation. I'm very glad to be here, albeit virtually, with my friend and colleague, the Honorable Deb Schultz, our Federal Minister of Seniors, and provincial colleagues from Alberta, Minister Panda and Minister Pond. And I would also like to acknowledge my friend, Mayor Nenshi, who is joining us for this very important announcement this morning. These past 15 months have been challenging for all Canadians. COVID-19 has impacted nearly every aspect of our lives. But there is much to be hopeful about today. Vaccines are being delivered across the country. More and more people are getting vaccinated, and we are beginning to feel hope. We can look forward with more optimism and put greater focus on efforts to rebuild our economy and ensure a stronger future for all Canadians. The Government of Canada is committed to creating jobs, improving our essential infrastructure, and delivering on our needs so that we can build cleaner, more inclusive, and resilient communities. We launched the COVID-19 Resilience Infrastructure Stream last August in order to do just that. This funding stream provides provinces and municipalities with added flexibility to fund quick start, short-term projects that might not otherwise be eligible under the existing funding streams for a wide range of infrastructure projects, including making improvements to schools, hospitals, and active transportation, which are key to keeping our population safe and healthy. These are shovel-ready projects that can get underway quickly, that strengthen our communities, and that make our buildings more accessible, energy efficient, and cost-effective in the long run. And today, I'm so pleased to announce that the Government of Canada is investing more than $25.5 million for 362 infrastructure projects that will repair and upgrade housing facilities for seniors and families in 95 communities across Alberta. The health and well-being of seniors remains a priority for the Government of Canada, and these projects will improve the facility's ventilation, air conditioning and heating systems, upgrade security and fire systems, and more. This will protect the safety of residents, staff, and visitors. While the pandemic has been hard on everyone, we know it has been particularly difficult on seniors, who often live alone and who've experienced even more social isolation as they all followed public health orders that mandated we stay home and stay away from our families and communities to keep them and ourselves safe. Every dollar that we invest needs to do triple duty: grow the economy, combat climate change, and promote social equality. This pandemic has heightened our awareness of what it means to be part of a community and shown us just how much we can do as federal, provincial, and municipal partners when we work together. We will build back better, and the federal government is committed to working with Alberta to advance our shared priorities. Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you, Jim. Investments into these housing projects for Alberta's seniors and families is terrific news, giving us cause for celebration throughout the province. Now, I would like to invite Federal Minister of Seniors, Deb Schultz, to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm really delighted to be joining you today for this very special announcement. But first, I'd like to do a land acknowledgement for where I'm from. I'm speaking to you from Vaughan, which has a rich Indigenous history. I'm on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation, the Anishinaabe of the Williams Treaty First Nation, the Huron-Wendat, and the Métis Nation. So, as you know, the Government of Canada is committed to enhancing seniors' quality of life and strengthening their financial security. And housing is a vital part of that solution, one that the Government of Canada is supporting with historic investments in the National Housing Strategy. We're investing $70 billion by 2027-28 to help more Canadians, including seniors, find an affordable place to call home. Maintaining the affordable housing we already have is another important part of our plan, and the one that we're here to talk to you about today. I'm proud that we're announcing an investment of nearly $32 million in 362 projects to improve housing for seniors and families in 92 communities across Alberta. The federal government is covering 80% of the costs. The majority of the projects are for seniors' apartments and lodges that provide seniors independent and supportive living. And as we've already heard, the funding will make repairs and upgrades that will improve air filtration, provide better heating and cooling, and make other improvements such as installing fire alarms and rehabilitating the buildings. These renovations will help prevent infection transmission, increase safety, and enhance seniors' quality of life. I want to underscore the importance of ventilation. Outbreaks have been linked to poor ventilation, where COVID-19 appears to have been transmitted through aerosols that became concentrated inside over time. So adequate ventilation can help reduce the risk of transmission indoors. That's one reason why these projects are so important. Every senior deserves a safe housing and to be treated with dignity. Today's investments are an important step forward. I'd like to thank my colleagues Minister Panda and Minister Pon for their partnership to make these improvements happen. We're committed to working together, delivering results for seniors in Alberta. It's always a pleasure to work with Minister Pon, with whom I co-chair the Forum of the Federal, Provincial, and Territorial Ministers responsible for seniors. The Forum is meeting next week to advance shared goals for seniors and to hear from senior stakeholders across the country. I'd now like to invite Minister Panda, Alberta's Minister of Senior, to take it back and pass it on. Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you, Minister Schultz. As Ministers Carr and Schultz touched on, together the Government of Canada and Alberta are directing more than $31.9 million through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program COVID-19 resilience stream to upgrade and renew Alberta government-owned facilities. I would like to thank all the federal ministers, including my good friend Catherine McKenna, to work with us in making this announcement possible today. Not only will we complete crucial repairs and upgrades to housing for seniors and families throughout the province, we will provide needed boosts within 95 local economies where these facilities are located, and will support about 180 good-paying jobs, construction-related jobs for Albertans. By investing in these infrastructure projects, the Alberta government is helping to ensure these Alberta communities remain vibrant and viable, which is particularly important in the light of challenges brought on by the pandemic. In the shorter term, we are protecting the lives and livelihoods of Albertans by promoting the healthy economic activity and getting people working now when we need it most. Over the long term, this work will ensure that important provincial infrastructure is maintained, benefiting Alberta taxpayers, seniors, and families. Now, my good friend and colleague, Minister Pon, Can you please tell us more about how these maintenance and renewal projects will improve our province's housing and benefit Alberta seniors and their families?
Well, thank you so much, Minister Panda. And Mrs. Shell, thank you for the kind word. It's my great pleasure to working alongside with you and your team on that PFT forum. It is going well. I'm excited, looking forward to next week for our great forum. So thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone. Minister Carr, Minister Shell, my colleague, Minister Panda, and as well as the workshops of Mayor Nancy's. This investment is exciting. This investment from Alberta's government and our federal partners is indeed good news for Alberta seniors and family. And as the Minister Carr mentioned, it will just support us to move forward 362 projects in 95 communities across the province. That means there's a much needed work, and such as replace the furnace and upgrading windows, and also the safety system and many more. These are the big and small projects, but they all matter to the people who live in affordable housing and their community. And a lodge in Through Hills will and a while there will be a new fire alarm system set up and a resident in the Strathmore and many more. And in Calgary, a new furnace and hot water tank that will be installed in various of the residents along with other upgrades. All of this work will make a difference in the life of the seniors in Alberta families. Because when you have a safe and a well-maintained home, your life is better in so many ways. Alberta's capital maintenance and renewal program and protect the integrity of the existing housings portfolio through the planned repair, replacements, and maintenance. The portfolios, including about 36,000 housing units across Alberta that are owned or supported by the government. Moving ahead with our maintenance and renewal projects, plus Alberta to work. Most importantly, is ensure seniors and Alberta families have access to safe and secure homes. We will continue to work with all other order of governments, like the federal government, along with the housing providers, nonprofit organizations, private companies, and the city to find the efficiency and improve affordable housing for Albertans in need. Alberta's government is working towards a new vision for our affordable housing system. It is our commitment to ensure more flexible, fair, and inclusive housing options are available to meet the needs of Albertans now and in the future. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it back to you, Minister Panda. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. As you said, these projects definitely go a long way towards protecting the lives and livelihoods of Albertans. Now, I'm pleased to invite Mayor Nancy. In fact, last year in April, when Premier and I announced capital maintenance and renewal projects, Mayor Nancy, my city's mayor, texted me right away within few minutes, "Hey, can you please include provincially owned housing assets in CMR projects?" And here we go. Myself and Minister Pond worked with our federal colleagues, and here is your opportunity to say a few words, Mayor Nancy.
Go. Thank you so much, Minister Panda, and thank you all for being here today. I love days like today, and I love announcements like this, because these are not just announcements about infrastructure projects. These are announcements that will make real differences in people's lives and real differences in vulnerable people's lives. And that's why this sort of thing, it just is so exciting for me. And it's great to be here with these four incredibly dedicated public servants. Jim Carr, who is a tireless advocate for everything on the prairies and hears from me way too much. And I just met Minister Schultz today, but her reputation precedes her in the great work she's been doing for seniors. And of course, Minister Panda and Minister Pond are old friends. and absolutely indefatigable fighters for vulnerable people in our communities and for what is needed. So I hope you guys are happy today, because I'm happy today with this announcement. This announcement is 68 projects in Calgary. And, you know, governments are often just not good at life cycle maintenance. It's not sexy. It's not fun. There's no ribbon to cut on a new furnace or improved windows. But it's critical. And certainly that's been part of the City of Calgary's philosophy for some time. Life cycle maintenance and upgrades are absolutely required, but especially in housing. For far too long, for far too many decades, governments of every political stripe have skimped on housing. And it's not right. Private landlords would not allow for their tenants to be able to stay in some of the conditions that we've allowed to happen in government and public housing. And so today's announcement really is about making a big difference in 68 separate projects. Improvements to accessibility, rehabilitations of building interiors, including replacing all fixtures and finishings in residential units, rehabilitating elevators, which have always been an Achilles heel for many public housing projects, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, enhancement to safety systems, and 9 new roofs. These are actually extremely big deals. And as we've heard from the previous speakers, one of the things we really learned during COVID is that too often, for too many people in our community, public health is a privilege. When you say to people, you have to self-isolate, you have to be at home, you need to be in a place with your own bedroom and your own bathroom, you need to be able to wash your hands and stay away from other people, you need access to high-speed internet so you can work from home. For someone like me sitting here in my fully equipped home studio, also known as my dining room because nobody's coming for dinner, that is not hard. But it's extremely difficult for many in our community. And so if we take one lesson away from COVID, and I think we have taken that lesson away, is the extraordinary importance of investment in housing, particularly investment in housing for more vulnerable people, including our seniors. And so I'm really happy that the Government of Canada has made historic investments through the Rapid Housing Initiative and other such programs to invest in housing. I'm thrilled that the Government of Alberta is playing its part. But I will repeat what I've been saying for some time. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right here in Calgary and in Edmonton. Given the vacancy rates, given the state of the economy, relatively modest investments in housing this year in the realm of about $500 million in Calgary will end homelessness in Calgary next year. Imagine if we could put that money to work today, as we are doing with this announcement today and with others, we could be the first major city in a Western country to say we have ended homelessness. It's a dream, but it's a dream that is attainable. And announcements like the announcement today are really what get us there. So I want to say thank you once again to the Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta for this investment, and more important, for allowing everyone in our community to live in a safe and decent place and to live a life of dignity and a life of potential. That's what today is about. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Naheed, for your strong advocacy on behalf of Calgarians. And that's a great example of how investing in infrastructure projects like these benefit all communities throughout Alberta. I would like to note that in addition to the 362 project approvals announced today, many dozens or dozen more projects funded through COVID-19 stream are underway around Alberta, as well as another 80 projects in over 30 Alberta constituencies, which have been approved throughout the other ICIP funding streams, are keeping Albertans working and helping to move forward the province's economic recovery. In closing, I would like to thank Ministers Carr, Schultz, and Pond, and Mayor Nenshi for joining me in this announcement today. And now my press secretary, Hayden Place, will facilitate questions from the media.
All right. If media have any question, please press 1. I don't think we have any in the queue at this time. All right. Operator, could you please put through our first caller?
Our first question comes from Madeline Smith, Calgary Herald.
Hi there. I apologize for the off-topic question. Mayor, I'm just hoping to get your comment on the Green Line procurement changes that were announced this morning. I know it's a bit of a technical thing of looking at breaking up the procurement for the first piece of the Green Line a little bit differently, but what do Calgarians need to know about how this changes the project?
Thanks very much, Madeline. And also, thank you for not asking me about urban hens, which I thought was the big news of the day today. Yes, so what we have been able to understand with our partners at the Government of Alberta is that technically the analysis of the Green Line was fine. No changes are required. The work that the City of Calgary has done is the right work. However, there was a question as to the most efficient procurement. The city had thought that it would be better to break this up into smaller pieces in order to have more competition on each one of these projects and to enable smaller and local companies to be involved more in the procurement. However, that did lead to a little bit of what we call completion risk, just making sure that the various pieces work together. So ultimately, in consultation with our partners at the Government of Alberta, it was decided that rather than to do 3 separate contracts, we'll do 2 contracts. So the first contract will go from Shepherd to Eau Claire. The second contract will go from Eau Claire to Crescent Heights. And as per Council's earlier direction, which has not changed, we will only procure each additional stage when we actually have cost certainty on the initial stages. So I'm really looking forward to moving forward with procurement on the first phase, which will take us from southeast Calgary right into the Bow River, onto the Bow River at Eau Claire, and getting her built. And then as soon as we have cost certainty on that, moving forward with the next phase from Eau Claire to Crescent Heights and then beyond that.
All right, operator, could you please put through our next caller?
Our next question comes from Catherine Kagowski, Alberta Today.
Thanks for taking my question. Not sure if there's 2 questions allowed today, but these will be for the provincial ministers. First question would be, what are the timelines on these upgrades being completed, since they do seem to be tied to COVID? And second, I believe I heard a focus on seniors lodges and independent living facilities, and just wondering why these facilities as opposed to some of the other facility-based continuing care.
On to Minister Pan. So COVID-19 resilience stream projects approved under this new stream have to be completed by end of 2021 initially, and then the federal government extended it to the end of next year based on input from provincial infrastructure ministers across Canada. So, Minister Pan's department is going to execute these projects for us, so I'll ask her to comment on that.
Well, thank you so much for your questions, because we just making this announcement, and we are still working, my department is still working on it, how to allocate which is the projects that we will be making the changes and then doing repair, so that we don't have the detailed list yet. However, that we will disclose this later on after we have the meeting with my department and working on it. So follow up with you later on when we decided how we're going to allocate the budget in the different but if a long-term care, that would be under the Minister Sandro's Alberta Health, and that's something that we have to work with that ministry across ministry and work on how to allocate the budget for a different long-term care and senior home. Thank you.
All right, operator, can you please put through our next caller?
Our next question comes from Kevin Nimick, CTV.
Hi there. I noticed Madeline Smith didn't get a follow-up. I'm happy to cede one of my questions to her. Just one question off the top here. It's a question for Minister Panda. Today's Today the City of Calgary announced it will build a portion of the Green Line that runs from the southeast to downtown all at once rather than dividing it into 3 segments. Minister McIver previously called the Green Line a train to nowhere. Is that still your government's stance?
So Government of Alberta is collaboratively working with City of Calgary, and they are cooperating and collaborating to ensure there is, like Mayor Nancy noted, to ensure there is a cost certainty and also technical feasibility. So they are working to de-risk the project and ensure that we're able to build it both efficiently and on time. So they're working together, and I'll ask Minister McIver's department to contact you and provide any further information.
All right, operator, could you please put through our last question?
Tom Ross, 660 News.
Hi, I'll work 2 questions into here with no follow-ups. For Mayor Nenshi, again about the Green Line. I understand that there's not as firm timelines for completion under this new plan. So, can you offer any sort of certainty on when the Green Line could potentially be done? And then, secondly, you mentioned that the technical analysis from the province found there was no issues with the city's plan. So, was that analysis just a big waste of time?
Well, I don't want to wreck a big day for moving forward on this critical project, the largest public works project in Alberta's history, by dwelling too much on the past. I will say that last summer, exactly a year ago, when I was told the province needed to do some due diligence, I said, great, that makes sense. It's a $1.5 billion project. But having done a great deal of due diligence in my professional career, I thought that would be a 6 or 8 week effort. Here we are 12 months later, but I'm very happy that all of the city's work on this, all of the big money that we spent on the best experts in the world on this project has been proven to be true, and that the government has accepted, the government of Alberta has accepted those findings. As for moving forward, it is certainly true that we are a bit delayed. We were aiming for opening day in 2025 or 2026. I am hopeful that we will still be able to get somewhere close to there. It may drop a little bit, but as the results of this procurement come in, we'll be able to have the timeline.
All right, we'll have to wrap it up there because we have to end at 11. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thank you all. Have a great day. Stay safe.